and welcome back to the deep dive. So today, we're going to be looking at Nike.
Okay.
And, I think it's a question on a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
What's next for Nike? They're like the biggest name in athletic wear.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's been some rumblings, about, their future.
Yeah.
So we've got this great article here from The Motley Fool. It's called "Where Will Nike Stock Be in 1 Year?"
All right.
And it kind of goes into, what's been going on with them.
Sure.
And where they might be headed.
Interesting.
So let's just dive right into it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I think this is going to be a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, I think what's interesting here is that Nike is this iconic brand.
Right.
Right.
Totally.
But even they're not immune to market forces.
Right.
You know, back in 2015,
Okay.
they had this ambitious goal.
Uh-huh.
They wanted to hit $50 billion in revenue by 2020.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
It's like they were saying, we're Nike, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, basically.
So did they actually reach that?
Not even close.
Oh, wow.
They only got to $37.4 billion by 2020.
Oh, so they missed the mark by quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a pretty big miss.
Okay.
And it wasn't just one thing that went wrong either.
Right.
Remember that whole Sports Authority bankruptcy thing?
Oh, yeah, back in 2016.
That was rough.
Yeah, it flooded the market with all this cheap athletic gear.
Right.
Which made it hard for Nike to keep those premium prices.
Right, because everybody's undercutting them.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the pandemic happened.
Oh, yeah, that threw everything off.
Nobody was immune to that.
Totally.
So, even giants can stumble, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But Nike's known for bouncing back.
That's true.
So what happened after 2020? Did they recover?
They did for a while at least.
That's
Between 2020 and 2023, their revenue actually had an 11% compound annual growth rate.
Okay.
Which is often called KGR.
TGR.
Okay, basically it's just the average yearly growth over that time.
Ah, I see. So they were growing at a pretty good pace for those 3 years.
Okay, so they bounced back after the pandemic.
Yeah.
But, I'm guessing there's more to that story than just a rebound, right?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely more to it.
What was driving that growth?
Well, they really leaned into their Nike Direct strategy.
Okay, Nike Direct. Tell me more about that.
So that meant focusing on selling directly to customers.
Okay.
Through their own stores and their website.
Makes sense.
And, that gave them more control over things like pricing and branding.
Yeah, I see how that would help.
But most importantly, it gave them data.
Data. Why is that so important?
Think about it this way.
Okay.
When they're selling directly, they get to see exactly what people are buying,
right,
what they're looking at.
Makes sense.
And what they're responding to.
Okay.
And that's super valuable when it comes to designing new products and, figuring out how to market them effectively.
Oh, I see. So they were getting smarter about how they use data. And it was paying off for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
But this article is all about where Nike is going next.
Right.
And it seems like things took a bit of a turn.
Yeah, that's right.
So what happened? Did the magic of Nike Direct kind of fade?
Unfortunately, it did.
Okay.
In fiscal year 2024.
Okay.
Their revenue growth, it basically flatlined.
So things stalled out.
Yeah. And even more concerning, their North American sales, which is a huge chunk of their business, actually went down.
Oh, so it wasn't just that they weren't growing as fast. They were actually losing ground in a major market.
That's right.
So even their Nike Direct growth, which was their star performer, that slowed down too.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so they hit a wall. Was this just them running out of steam?
Well, it's not like their competition was just sitting back and watching them succeed, right?
Right, exactly.
You got Adidas, home anti-sports.
Yeah, they're all big players.
Exactly. They were all putting pressure on Nike from different angles.
Okay, so the heat was on.
And then you've got Lululemon.
Oh, right. They're traditionally not known for shoes.
Right, but they started making moves into the footwear market.
So suddenly everybody's gunning for Nike?
Yeah, and they've got a target on their back.
Okay, so the competition was getting fierce.
Yeah, definitely.
But this article really zeroes in on North America.
Right.
What was going on there specifically? I know it mentioned declining sales, markdowns, and something about the strong dollar hurting their overseas earnings.
Right.
Can you kind of unpack that for us?
Yeah, sure. So first, let's talk about the declining sales in North America.
Okay.
Remember how they went all in on that Nike Direct strategy?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they might have alienated some of their wholesale partners in the process.
Oh, they're wholesale partners, like the big retailers.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they've been trying to rebuild those relationships, but it's been a struggle.
Wait, so they kind of pushed those retailers aside and now they're trying to win them back?
Yeah, pretty much.
That seems kind of risky.
It is, and honestly, it's not really working.
Oh, man.
Their wholesale revenue is still going down.
Ouch.
Which suggests that those retailers might not be so quick to forgive and forget.
Okay, so that's one strategy that's not really panning out.
Right.
What about the markdowns? What's the story there?
Well, Nike's been trying to position themselves as a premium brand.
Right, with those higher-priced, innovative products.
Exactly.
But it seems like they've been relying more and more on markdowns to get rid of their inventory.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Wait, hold on. That doesn't make sense.
I know, right?
How can they be a premium brand if they're always discounting their stuff?
Exactly. It's sending a mixed message.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to be two things at once.
Yeah, they're walking a tightrope.
Okay, so they're dealing with declining sales in North America.
Right.
A kind of confusing pricing strategy.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the strong dollar is hurting their profits from overseas sales.
Yeah, exactly, because a strong dollar makes their products more expensive in other countries.
Oh, I see. It makes them less competitive.
Exactly.
So they're in a bit of a pickle.
You could say that.
But this article doesn't just focus on the problems, right?
No, definitely not.
It also outlines some of the things that Nike's doing to try to turn things around.
Right.
So let's talk about those. What's their plan of attack?
Well, they have a three-pronged approach.
Three-pronged. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
And to be honest, some of it seems like they're trying to undo some of their past decisions.
Oh, interesting.
First, they're really focusing on rebuilding those wholesale relationships that we talked about.
Okay, so they're trying to get back in the good graces of those big retailers.
Exactly.
But I mean, is that even going to work?
Well, it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
And so far, it's not really showing any results.
Right.
Their wholesale revenue is still dropping.
That's not a good sign.
No. It suggests that those retailers might not be so eager to welcome them back with open arms.
Yeah, I bet they're a little hesitant after being sidelined.
Yeah.
So that's one strategy that's not really working out.
Right.
What's the next move?
Well, their second strategy is all about focusing on premium products.
Premium products, okay.
They're banking on the idea that people are willing to pay a premium for the Nike brand.
Okay, for that swoosh, for the innovation.
Exactly, for that history and reputation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, in theory, this should help boost their profits, right?
Right. But doesn't that contradict their whole markdown problem?
That's a good point.
If they're having to discount stuff to get rid of it,
right,
how can they maintain this premium image?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, right?
It does.
The article actually suggests that this whole premium product push might be backfiring.
Really?
Yeah, because they're stuck in this weird position of wanting to charge higher prices, but then having to offer discounts to actually get people to buy the stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in.
It is.
So maybe they need to rethink that strategy a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so we've got two strategies down. One's not working. The other one might be backfiring.
Yeah.
What's the third prong of their attack?
All right, so their third strategy is to invest heavily in new products and marketing.
New products and marketing. Okay.
Think like big flashy ad campaigns, celebrity endorsements, collaborations with hot designers, the whole 9 yards.
So basically, go big or go home.
Yeah. The idea is to create a lot of buzz, attract new customers, and just remind everyone why Nike is Nike.
But, I mean, that sounds expensive.
It is.
Can they really afford to do that right now?
That's the big question.
Especially when their sales are flat and their profits are already under pressure.
Right. It's like throwing a big party when you're worried about making rent.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the article is concerned about.
Yeah.
This increased spending could actually hurt their profits even more in the short term.
So it's a gamble.
It is a big gamble.
And it's not clear if it's going to pay off.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, so we've got these three strategies. Right.
Winning back the retailers, which isn't working. Pushing premium products, which might be backfiring.
Right.
And spending a ton of money on marketing, which could also backfire.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling super optimistic here.
I understand.
So what does this mean for their financial future? What are the experts saying?
Well, the analysts are projecting modest revenue growth of about 2% for fiscal year 2026.
2%?
Yeah.
For Nike?
I know, right?
Practically nothing.
It's definitely not the kind of growth we're used to seeing from them.
Okay, so their sales aren't expected to rebound in a big way.
Right.
What about their profits?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
They're actually predicting a 19% jump in earnings per share.
Earnings per share, or EPS.
Exactly.
Okay, remind me what EPS is again.
Sure, so EPS is basically the portion of a company's profit
Right.
that's allocated to each outstanding share of common stock.
Right.
It's a key metric that investors look at. Okay, so even though their sales are only expected to grow by a tiny amount, their profits are projected to increase significantly.
Yeah, that's right.
How does that work?
Well, it could be partly due to cost-cutting measures.
Okay.
But it's probably more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Remember, they're pushing those higher-priced products.
Right.
So even if they sell a slightly lower volume overall, they could potentially make more profit on each item.
Oh, I see. So it's about selling fewer things, but at a higher price.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
What's the catch?
Well, even with those optimistic earnings projections, the Motley Fool article argues that Nike's stock might still be overvalued.
Overvalued? What does that even mean?
It basically means that the current price of their stock is higher than what it should be based on their financials.
Okay, so people are paying more for the stock than it's actually worth.
Yeah, you could say that.
But how do they figure that out?
Well, one of the key things they look at is the price-to-earnings ratio.
The price-to-earnings ratio?
Yeah, it's often called the PE ratio.
Okay.
And it basically compares the company's stock price to its earnings per share.
Okay.
And right now, Nike's trading at 38 times forward earnings.
38 times forward earnings?
Yeah.
What does forward earnings mean?
So forward earnings are basically the analysts' estimates of what the company's earnings will be in the future.
Oh, I see. So it's not just based on their past performance?
No, it's about what they expect Nike to earn in the future.
Okay.
And a high PE ratio based on forward earnings. It suggests that investors are really betting on significant growth in the future.
Okay, so they're banking on Nike turning things around.
Exactly.
But, I mean, given their current situation, that seems like a risky bet.
It definitely is.
So it's not just their current performance that matters.
Right.
It's also how investors perceive their future prospects. And right now, it seems like there's some doubt about whether Nike can really deliver on those expectations.
Yeah, there's definitely some skepticism out there.
Okay, so the PE ratio is raising some red flags. But you mentioned something else, the dividend yield.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing to consider.
Okay, remind me what a dividend yield is.
Sure, so the dividend yield is basically how much income you can expect to get from owning a stock.
Right.
It's expressed as a percentage of the stock's current price.
Okay.
And Nike's dividend yield is only 2.1%.
2.1%. That doesn't seem like a lot.
No, it's not.
Especially for a company like Nike.
Exactly. It's not exactly enticing for investors who are looking for income.
Right. So it's not a steal for value investors.
Nope.
And it's not a cash cow for dividend seekers.
Not really.
So it's kind of stuck in between.
Yeah, kind of in no man's land.
Given all of this, what's the Motley Fool's bottom line?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears.
They're actually predicting that Nike stock will either stay flat or even go down over the next year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty bold prediction.
It is, considering how dominant they've been for so long.
Right. It's like they're saying the giant might fall.
Yeah, or at least stumble a bit more.
But it sounds like this prediction is based on a solid analysis of their current situation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the challenges that they're facing. But is there more to the story than just numbers?
Oh, absolutely.
What else should we be considering?
Well, we've talked about their finances,
right, yeah,
their strategies, the competitive landscape.
Yeah.
But one thing we haven't really touched on is their brand.
Their brand.
Yeah, like Nike has built this incredibly strong brand over decades.
Oh, absolutely.
It's synonymous with athletic excellence, innovation, and a certain cool factor.
Yeah, that swoosh is iconic.
Exactly.
So that has to count for something, right?
It definitely does.
But the question is, can brand loyalty alone carry them through these tough times?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, I mean, brand loyalty is powerful.
It is.
But it's not invincible.
Right.
Especially these days, consumers have so many choices.
Yeah, especially younger generations.
They're bombarded with marketing messages all the time.
Exactly.
And they're looking for brands that align with their values.
That's a good point.
So Nike can't just coast on their reputation anymore.
Right.
They have to keep innovating, staying relevant, and proving that they're more than just a logo.
Exactly.
But how do they do that in a market that's becoming more and more crowded and competitive?
Well, I think innovation is key.
Innovation, okay.
They've always been known for pushing the boundaries with new technologies and designs.
Yeah.
And they need to keep doing that.
So what does that look like?
Think personalized products.
Okay.
Sustainable materials. even experiences that go beyond just buying a pair of shoes.
Oh, interesting. So it's about creating a whole ecosystem around their brand.
Yeah, like a community that people want to be a part of.
That's a great idea, but innovation can be risky.
It definitely can be.
Not every new idea is a hit.
Right.
So how do they strike that balance between staying true to their heritage and embracing the future?
It's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer.
Right.
They need to stay true to their core values while also adapting to the times.
Okay.
And it's not just about the products themselves.
Right.
It's about the stories they tell.
Okay.
The athletes they partner with. The causes they support.
So it's about connecting with people on a deeper level.
Exactly.
Building a relationship that goes beyond just a transaction.
Right.
Think about the power of storytelling.
Yeah.
The impact of social media.
Yeah.
The rise of influencer marketing.
Right.
Nike has so much potential to use those things to create really engaging and authentic experiences for their customers.
I agree. It's about creating a whole brand experience.
Yeah, that goes beyond just the physical products.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've explored Nike's past, their present challenges, and some possible paths for their future.
Right.
It's been a really interesting deep dive into a company that's at a crossroads.
It is. They're facing some real headwinds.
Yeah.
But they also have some amazing opportunities.
Exactly.
It's all about how they navigate the next few years.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, for sure.
There's so much more to uncover.
Definitely.
I mean, think about the global landscape.
Yeah.
The changes happening in retail.
Right.
The impact of all these new technologies.
Wow.
All those things are going to shape Nike's future.
Absolutely.
So we've given you the tools and insights to start your own exploration of Nike's journey.
Right. It's up to you to connect the dots.
Make your own conclusions.
And maybe even uncover some things that we missed.
Exactly.
The world of business is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And companies like Nike are always evolving.
So staying informed, asking questions, and thinking critically,
Right.
those are the keys to navigating this whole landscape.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, a deep dive into Nike's future.
Full of twists and turns.
And hopefully some thought-provoking insights.
I hope so.
We hope you enjoyed the journey.
Yeah, as much as we have.
But remember, the most important question isn't where will Nike's stock be in a year?
Right.
It's what role will Nike play in shaping the future of athletic wear and the culture that surrounds it?
That's the real question.
Now that's something to think about.
Definitely.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.
See you next time. So they're predicting that Nike stock is going to either stay flat or even go down over the next year.
Wow, that's a pretty bold prediction.
It is, right?
Oh.
Especially considering, how big they've been for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does seem like, it's based on a careful look at everything that's going on with them right now.
Right, all the challenges they're facing.
Yeah. But I feel like there's always more to the story than just the numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
What else should we be thinking about?
Well, we've talked about, their financials, their strategies, the competition.
Right.
But one thing we haven't really talked about is their brand.
Oh, your brand, yeah.
Nike has spent decades building this incredibly strong brand, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's synonymous with athletic excellence, innovation, a certain cool factor.
Yeah, you see that swoosh, it's Nike.
Exactly.
It's iconic.
So that's got to count for something, right?
I mean, it has to, but the question is, can brand loyalty alone carry them through these tough times?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, brand loyalty is powerful.
It is.
But it's not like a magic shield.
No, it's not.
Consumers these days, especially younger generations, they're a lot more discerning.
Yeah, they really are.
They've got more choices than ever before.
They're bombarded with marketing everywhere they look. Exactly, and they're really looking for brands that, reflect their values.
That's a good point.
So Nike can't just rely on their past success.
No, not anymore.
They've got to keep innovating, stay relevant, and show that they're more than just a logo.
Yeah, they have to evolve.
But how do you do that in a market that's, getting more and more competitive every day?
Well, I think innovation is going to be key.
Innovation, okay.
They've always been known for pushing the boundaries, right?
Yeah, new technologies, new designs.
Right, and they need to double down on that.
So what does that look like in practice?
Think personalized products,
okay,
sustainable materials, maybe even experiences that go beyond just buying a pair of shoes.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about the product itself.
No, it's about the whole experience.
It's about creating a community.
Yeah, an ecosystem around the brand.
That's a cool idea.
Right.
But innovation can be risky, too.
It definitely can be.
I mean, not every new idea is a winner.
Definitely not.
So how do they balance staying true to their heritage with, like, embracing the future?
It's a tough balance to strike.
Yeah, it is.
And honestly, there's no easy answer.
Right.
They need to be true to their core values, but also be willing to change with the times.
Adapt.
Exactly. And, it's not just about the products themselves.
Right. There's more to it.
It's also about the stories they tell.
Okay.
The athletes they partner with.
Yeah.
The causes they support.
So it's about connecting with people on a deeper level.
Yeah, building a real relationship.
Not just like a transactional one.
Exactly.
I mean, think about like storytelling these days.
Yeah.
Social media, influencer marketing.
Right.
Nike has so much potential to use those tools to create really engaging experiences for their customers.
Absolutely.
Like, they almost have to become a media company as well as a product company.
That's a great way to put it.
They need to create content that like resonates with their audience, builds a sense of community, and reinforces those brand values.
Right.
So it's about creating this like holistic brand experience.
Exactly. It goes beyond just the physical products.
So we've talked about Nike's past, their current challenges.
Yeah.
And some potential paths they could take in the future.
Right.
It's been a fascinating deep dive into a company that's really at a crossroads.
It has.
They're facing some serious headwinds.
Yeah, but they also have some incredible opportunities.
It's all about how they navigate the next few years.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, definitely.
There's so much more to explore.
For sure.
I mean, think about the global landscape.
Yeah.
The way retail is changing.
Right.
The impact of all these new technologies. Yeah. All these factors are going to play a role in shaping Nike's future.
Absolutely.
So we've tried to give you the tools and the insights.
Right, to kind of get you started.
To start your own exploration of Nike's journey.
Yeah, it's up to you to connect the dots.
Draw your own conclusions.
And maybe even discover some things that we missed.
Exactly, because the world of business is constantly changing.
It is.
And companies like Nike are always evolving.
Yeah, that happens.
So staying informed, asking questions,
right,
and thinking critically, those are the keys to understanding this whole landscape.
Absolutely.
So there you have it.
A deep dive into Nike's future.
Full of twists and turns.
And hopefully some thought-provoking insights.
We hope you've enjoyed the ride as much as we have.
Yeah, it's been a fun one.
But remember, the most important question isn't where will Nike's stock be in a year?
Right.
It's what role will Nike play in shaping the future of athletic wear and the culture that surrounds it?
That's the real question.
Now, that's something to think about.
It is.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.
See you next time. Yeah, it really is, like you said, $1 million question.
It is. I mean, brand loyalty is powerful.
It is.
It's not invincible.
You're right, especially nowadays.
Right. Consumers have so many choices, like you said, especially younger people.
Exactly. They're not just going to buy something because it has a certain logo on it.
Right. They're bombarded with ads constantly.
They really are.
And they're looking for brands that really reflect their values, you know?
That's a great point.
So Nike can't just, like, coast on their reputation anymore.
Definitely not.
They've got to innovate, stay relevant, and prove that they're, more than just a logo.
They've got to show they're still in the game.
Exactly. But how do they do that? I mean, the market's getting more crowded, more competitive every single day.
Well, I think, like we said, innovation is key.
Innovation, yeah.
They've always been known for pushing the boundaries. New technologies, new designs. They need to keep doing that.
So what does that look like? What's next for them?
Think personalized products.
Okay.
Sustainable materials. Maybe even creating experiences that go beyond just buying a pair of shoes.
Oh, so it's not just about the shoes anymore.
Right. It's about creating a whole ecosystem around the brand.
Like a community.
Exactly. Make people feel like they're part of something bigger.
That's really cool.
It is. But, innovation can be risky.
Oh, definitely.
Not every new idea is going to be a slam dunk.
Right. So how do they balance, staying true to their heritage and who they are with, embracing the future and trying new things?
It's a tough balance to strike.
It is.
There's no easy answer.
Yeah.
I think they need to, stay true to their core values, but at the same time, be willing to adapt and change with the times.
Yeah. Be flexible.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the products, right?
Right.
Like you said, it's about the stories they tell.
It is.
The athletes they work with.
Yeah, the partnerships they form.
The causes they support.
It's all connected.
So it's about connecting with people on a deeper level.
Yes, building a real relationship.
Not just a transactional thing. I mean, think about the power of storytelling these days.
Huge.
Social media, influencer marketing, all of that.
It's a whole new world.
And Nike has such a big opportunity to use those things, right?
They do.
To create really engaging experiences.
Yeah, to make people feel something.
To tell a story.
To build a community.
It's like they almost have to become a media company in addition to being a product company.
That's a great point. I like that.
So, we've explored Nike's past, their present, some potential futures.
It's been a good overview.
It's been a really interesting deep dive, I think.
I agree.
Into a company that's really, at a crossroads.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty.
They're facing these challenges, but they also have these amazing opportunities.
Right. It all comes down to the choices they make.
But I think the important thing here is, we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so much more to uncover.
There really is.
Think about the global landscape. The way retail is changing. It's changing so fast.
The impact of technology, all of that stuff is going to shape Nike's future.
It's all connected.
So, hopefully we've given you the tools.
Yeah, some food for thought.
Some insights to kind of start your own exploration,
Your own deep dive.
Into Nike's journey.
It's a fascinating story.
So, connect the dots, draw your own conclusions.
Come up with your own predictions.
Maybe even see some things that we missed.
Definitely.
Because the world of business is constantly changing, right?
Always evolving.
And companies like Nike are always evolving with it.
They have to adapt to survive.
So staying informed, asking questions, thinking critically.
Exactly.
Those are the keys to navigating this whole landscape.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So there you have it, a deep dive into the future of Nike.
A company with a lot of history and a lot of potential.
Full of twists and turns.
And hopefully some valuable insights.
We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did.
It's been fun. But remember, the most important question isn't where will Nike's stock be in a year?
Right. It's bigger than that.
It's what role will Nike play in shaping the future of, athletic wear and the culture that surrounds it?
That's the real question.
So think about that. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
See you next time.